on First Take. According to Shams, LeBron James has made his decision. He is headed to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year veteran minimum $8 million deal. His agent, Rich Paul, told ESPN.
LeBron kept having conversations with some of Philly's players.
LeBron James shocks the entire NBA. He doesn't go Miami, he doesn't go Cleveland. He goes the Philadelphia 76ers, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid,
winning the 2027 NBA championship.
LeBron James has officially committed to the Philadelphia 76ers, and just like that, the entire NBA landscape has been turned upside down. This wasn't just another superstar changing teams. It instantly became the biggest story in basketball. But here's the part that has everyone talking. It isn't simply that LeBron left, it's why he chose Philadelphia. According to reports and growing speculation around the league, there may be far more happening behind the scenes than fans realize. Executives across the NBA are already scrambling to adjust because this move could completely reshape the balance of power in the Eastern Conference. Suddenly, conversations about LeBron's legacy, Philadelphia's championship ambitions, and the future direction of the league have reached another level. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Before we break down everything that happened after the signing, there's one major piece of the puzzle you need to understand first. This wasn't a routine free agency decision by any stretch of the imagination. The path that ultimately brought LeBron to Philadelphia was packed with unexpected twists, unanswered questions, and behind-the-scenes developments that almost nobody saw coming. That's exactly why this story has become so fascinating. So let's walk through how one decision created shockwaves that spread throughout the entire basketball world. To understand why this move has completely taken over the sports conversation, you first have to recognize one simple fact. LeBron James has never been viewed as just another NBA superstar. Even at 41 years old, an age when nearly every all-time great has already retired, he continued performing at an elite level during the 2025-26 season, averaging 20.9 points, 7.2 assists, and 6.1 rebounds across 60 regular season games. He also earned an incredible 22nd All-Star selection, a milestone that almost feels impossible in today's NBA. Most players never come close to reaching that level of longevity, yet LeBron keeps extending one of the greatest careers basketball has ever seen. And that's only part of the story. LeBron became the NBA's all-time leading scorer after passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar during the 2022-23 season, creating an historic moment that reached far beyond basketball itself. His resume speaks for itself. 4 NBA championships, 4 Finals MVP awards, 4 League MVP trophies, and 10 Finals appearances spread across 4 different decades. He also delivered Cleveland's unforgettable comeback from a 3-1 deficit against the 73-win Warriors in 2016, a championship many still consider the greatest finals achievement in league history. Later, he brought another title to the Lakers in 2020, proving once again that wherever LeBron goes, championship expectations follow close behind. By almost every meaningful standard, LeBron continues to belong in the greatest of all time conversation. That's exactly why every major decision he makes feels like it changes the direction of the entire NBA. His move to Miami in 2010 dominated sports headlines for weeks. His return to Cleveland in 2014 became one of the biggest stories in American sports. Then, when he signed with the Lakers in 2018, it instantly transformed one of the league's most iconic franchises. Now, history has repeated itself once again. After informing the Lakers he would not return for the 2026-27 season, LeBron officially entered free agency. The moment that announcement became public, every front office around the league immediately began preparing for another massive shakeup. But almost nobody predicted that Philadelphia would emerge as the team to land him. And believe it or not, that's where this story becomes even more unbelievable. Once LeBron hit free agency, the debate wasn't whether teams would pursue him. The real question was which organizations actually had a realistic chance of convincing him to sign. Early expectations centered around the Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, and Golden State Warriors because of their history with LeBron and their championship-caliber rosters. Philadelphia wasn't even considered a legitimate possibility by most analysts. In fact, the 76ers reportedly weren't viewed as serious contenders and weren't believed to be actively engaged with LeBron's camp. Then, everything changed almost overnight. Philadelphia shocked the basketball world by acquiring Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics in exchange for Paul George and future draft assets. That blockbuster completely altered the conversation. Jaylen Brown, the 2024 NBA Finals MVP, a two-time NBA selection, and one of basketball's premier two-way stars, instantly elevated the 76ers from an overlooked team into one of the league's most attractive destinations. ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Philadelphia wasn't viewed as a realistic landing spot before the trade was completed, but once Brown arrived, the perception across the NBA changed almost immediately. Soon afterward, The Athletic's Tony Jones reported that the 76ers had officially expressed interest in signing LeBron, placing Philadelphia firmly in the race. Suddenly, the fit became impossible to overlook. A projected lineup featuring Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecomb, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and Embiid immediately captured everyone's attention. It looked like a roster loaded with elite scoring, lockdown defense, athleticism, high-level playmaking, and championship experience from top to bottom. On paper, there appeared to be very few weaknesses, making the 76ers an instant championship favorite if the deal actually happened. Then another development pushed the speculation even further. Whenever Rich Paul, CEO of Clutch Sports and LeBron's longtime agent, speaks publicly, the basketball world pays close attention. During an appearance on the Game Over podcast with Max Kellerman, Rich Paul used a whiteboard to analyze 10 possible destinations for LeBron, but one detail immediately caught everyone's attention. The very first team he discussed wasn't Cleveland, Miami, or Golden State, it was Philadelphia. That alone sent a powerful message. Paul then pointed directly to a core built around Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecomb, Jaylen Brown, and Embiid, explaining why the 76ers had suddenly become one of the most compelling destinations anywhere in the NBA.
Everything changed.
Do they have his attention as Windhorst is reporting?
How could you not have the attention when you have Maxey, Edgecomb, Brown?
The moment Rich Paul put Philadelphia at the top of the conversation, the entire NBA rumor mill went into overdrive. And that's no surprise, because when the man who has been at LeBron James' side for nearly every major career decision starts with the 76ers, people immediately assume something big is happening. Social media erupted with predictions that a deal was only a matter of time. But here's where things became interesting, because speculation quickly started racing ahead of verified reports, and we'll circle back to that in a moment. Before that, you need to understand why Philadelphia suddenly made so much sense from a basketball perspective. Everything begins with Joel Embiid. When he's healthy, Embiid is widely recognized as one of the most unstoppable offensive forces in the NBA. The former league MVP and scoring champion has the ability to dominate from the post, punish defenders in the mid-range, and create off the dribble, forcing defenses to send extra help almost every possession. The biggest concern has never been his talent, it's his availability. Over the last 3 seasons, Embiid has appeared in only 96 regular season games. But whenever he's on the floor, the 76ers immediately look like a legitimate championship contender. LeBron and Embiid also have something that's impossible to ignore. They've already proven they can win together. The two stars helped lead Team USA to a perfect 6-0 record and a gold medal at the 2024 Paris Olympics, defeating France on the biggest international stage. LeBron captured Olympic MVP honors after averaging 14.2 points, 8.5 assists, and 6.8 rebounds throughout the tournament. More importantly, that championship run allowed both superstars to build chemistry, trust, and confidence under enormous pressure, something that no recruiting pitch or off-season workout could ever duplicate. But according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, Philadelphia's biggest advantage wasn't Joel Embiid or even Jaylen Brown, it was Tyrese Maxey.
Speaking on Get Up, Windhorst made it clear by saying a big factor here is Tyrese Maxey. Maxey is represented by Clutch Sports and has spent several off-seasons working out alongside LeBron, creating a relationship that extends far beyond the basketball court. Windhorst even compared the situation to Anthony Davis, another Clutch client, whose connection with LeBron eventually helped pave the way for the Lakers' partnership. Rich Paul reinforced that idea himself during the Game Over podcast, saying he loves Maxey, so we don't even have to talk about that. That single comment suggested Philadelphia already held a meaningful advantage before negotiations even began. Fresh off his emergence as an all-star, Maxey gives LeBron an explosive running mate in the backcourt, while Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, and rising rookie VJ Edgecombe rounds out one of the league's most talented young cores. Suddenly, what once sounded like a wild rumor started looking like a very realistic basketball fit. That momentum only intensified when 76ers president of basketball operations, Bob Myers, appeared on the Game Over podcast and delivered his recruiting pitch directly to Rich Paul. Myers didn't waste any time arguing that Philadelphia offered the best opportunity to compete for another championship before the end of his career. From a pure basketball standpoint, it was a compelling case. But there was still one enormous obstacle standing between the 76ers and a blockbuster signing. And believe it or not, it had nothing to do with talent. It came down to money. Philadelphia's biggest challenge was always the salary cap. With Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown already earning massive contracts, the 76ers were carrying roughly $205.8 million in payroll. According to ESPN's Bobby Marks, that placed them above the luxury tax and just below the league's first apron. Realistically, the only way LeBron could join the team would be by accepting a veteran minimum contract, an astonishing pay cut compared to the $52.6 million player option he held the previous season. But according to multiple reports, including comments Rich Paul made to ESPN, LeBron was prepared to make that sacrifice if the opportunity felt right. As Rich Paul explained it, this is the first time LeBron is making the decision pressure-free. He has already won. This is strictly about happiness and legacy. That single comment immediately changed the conversation surrounding his free agency. Instead of chasing the biggest contract, the focus shifted towards finding the perfect basketball situation. Even so, Philadelphia wasn't the only franchise making a serious push. The Cleveland Cavaliers remained one of the strongest contenders throughout the process. For Cleveland, this was never just another free agent pursuit. It was about completing a legacy.
LeBron returned to his hometown franchise in 2014 after being selected first overall in the 2003 NBA Draft, then delivered the city's first major professional sports championship in more than 50 years with the unforgettable 3-1 comeback over the 73-win Warriors in 2016. This time, however, Cleveland already possessed a roster capable of competing for a championship. That alone made the possibility far more intriguing than many fans realized. According to Mark Stein, league insiders increasingly viewed the Cavaliers as one of the favorites if LeBron decided to leave Los Angeles. Cleveland also possessed something no rival franchise could match: Brandon Weems, LeBron's longtime friend and the Cavaliers' assistant general manager. Rich Paul even described Weems as being basically LeBron's brother, making him one of the biggest X factors in Cleveland's pursuit. It served as another reminder that personal relationships often matter just as much as basketball when career-defining decisions are made. Then there was Miami. The Heat represented familiarity, championship culture, and unfinished business. LeBron reached 4 consecutive NBA Finals there while winning back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013 under Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. According to Brian Windhorst, returning to an organization where he had already achieved enormous success was something LeBron had to seriously consider. That history made Miami impossible to overlook. The Golden State Warriors also remained firmly in the conversation, although ESPN's Anthony Slater reported there was limited optimism within the organization. Golden State maintained roster flexibility in hopes of pitching LeBron on a short-term partnership alongside Stephen Curry, creating what could have become one of the most fascinating superstar duos the NBA has ever seen. Reports also suggested that Anthony Davis, another Clutch Sports client, could factor into various trade scenarios connected to Golden State's pursuit. But while Philadelphia, Cleveland, Miami, and Golden State dominated the headlines, they weren't the only teams paying close attention. Quietly, another unexpected contender was beginning to enter the picture. And if you thought LeBron's free agency story couldn't become any more unpredictable, this next twist completely changed the conversation. The Minnesota Timberwolves quietly entered the conversation as one of the most intriguing dark horse contenders. During the Game Over podcast, Rich Paul spoke highly of Anthony Edwards and head coach Finch, even placing Minnesota among the 5 featured teams on his whiteboard, alongside Cleveland, Miami, Denver, and Philadelphia. For LeBron, the Timberwolves offered something few other franchises could, a chance to compete for another championship while helping guide one of the league's brightest young stars in Anthony Edwards. That combination created a unique legacy opportunity, unlike any of the other destinations being discussed. Then there was Denver. From a basketball standpoint alone, the Nuggets may have offered the cleanest fit of any team in the race. Pairing LeBron with 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon would instantly create one of the NBA's most complete and dangerous lineups. Just imagine 2 of the greatest basketball minds of this generation sharing the floor together. It would completely reshape the balance of power in the Western Conference. The only problem, much like Philadelphia, was Denver's difficult salary cap situation, making any potential deal incredibly challenging to pull off financially. So when you looked at the full picture, every contender had something special to offer. Cleveland represented the emotional homecoming. Miami brought championship culture and familiar success. Golden State offered the dream partnership with Stephen Curry. Minnesota presented the opportunity to mentor Anthony Edwards, while Denver paired LeBron with Nikola Jokic. Yet despite all of those possibilities, one question continued to dominate the conversation. Why did Philadelphia keep coming up first? Why did Rich Paul begin his whiteboard with the 76ers? And why did so much attention suddenly shift toward Philadelphia above everyone else? Here's where the story takes its biggest twist. Despite countless headlines claiming LeBron had already chosen the 76ers, no official agreement had actually been completed. The buzz surrounding Philadelphia was built on confirmed interest, not a confirmed signing. The Athletic's Tony Jones reported that the 76ers had formally expressed interest in pursuing LeBron. Rich Paul acknowledged that Philadelphia had captured LeBron's attention. ESPN's Shams Charania ranked the 76ers behind only Cleveland and Miami among the leading contenders. Meanwhile, Mark Stein and Jake Fisher both reported that Philadelphia was receiving serious consideration alongside the Cavaliers, Heat, and Warriors. Those reports were absolutely legitimate. The problem was that social media quickly blurred the line between genuine interest and a finalized decision. One respected insider confirms a team's interest. Another ranks the frontrunners. Rich Paul places Philadelphia first on his whiteboard. Then, almost overnight, speculation starts getting treated as an established fact. That's exactly how today's NBA rumor cycle works. In this case, many fans became convinced LeBron had already signed, when in reality, no such decision had been made. Even with endless headlines flooding the internet, Rich Paul continued to send one consistent message: no final decision was close. Speaking with ESPN, LeBron's longtime agent explained that he didn't expect a resolution anytime soon, making it clear that reports suggesting an imminent signing had gotten far ahead of reality. Unlike previous chapters of LeBron's career, this free agency isn't about proving doubters wrong or chasing validation. As Rich Paul explained, this stage is all about happiness. LeBron has already delivered championships in Cleveland, Miami, and Los Angeles. Now, at 41 years old, his priority is straightforward.
He simply wants to put himself in the best possible position to compete for one more championship on his own terms. And honestly, that's what makes this entire free agency saga so fascinating. Philadelphia offers a loaded roster built around Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown, but it would likely require LeBron to make a significant financial sacrifice. Cleveland offers the emotional return home. Miami provides a championship culture he already knows well. Golden State presents the opportunity to finally team up with Stephen Curry. Minnesota gives him the chance to mentor Anthony Edwards, while Denver may offer the purest basketball fit alongside Nikola Jokic. Every destination has a compelling argument, which is exactly why the entire NBA world continues waiting for LeBron's final choice. One thing is beyond debate. The 76ers made one of the strongest pushes of any team involved. They landed Jaylen Brown, publicly recruited LeBron through Bob Myers, and watched Rich Paul place Philadelphia at the very top of his whiteboard. Whether that's enough to bring the King to Philly remains the biggest unanswered question of the offseason. Now it's your turn. Where do you think LeBron James ultimately lands? Does he choose Philadelphia, complete an unforgettable return to Cleveland, reunite with Miami, join forces with Stephen Curry and Golden State, or surprise everyone with a completely unexpected destination? Drop your prediction in the comments below, because when LeBron finally makes his decision, it won't just reshape one franchise, it could completely change the future of the NBA.